Yo, what's up, guy? How you doing, man? Gross girl. Oh, look at this. I am blessed. How are you, my friends? I'm happy to see you both. Oh, you know what? Let me post a link on the Patreon. I forgot for this stream. It doesn't seem like you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. It doesn't seem like people. It doesn't seem like people really get like their news as far as my streams. They don't get it from the Patreon. They get it more from the Discord. But I still like to post it there just in case somebody's not checking the Discord and they're like, does this guy ever post on his Patreon? I'm supporting him. The answer is yes, I do. And here it is. There you go. Now we're back. You know what else? I'm going to lower the exposure a little bit on this webcam because looking a little too shiny. Gigi, how's it going? A little better. Oh, it's doing that thing again. This is happening a lot now. I think that this thing needs an update. I have to keep like closing it and reopening the iPad. Oh, right. We haven't spoken since my trip, right? Guy says, I'm doing fine, dude. Had a convention canceled this weekend that was hyped to go to. Oh, that sucks. But, well, life happens. Have two others to go this weekend, one on Saturday. So, man, you're doing a lot of cons. I see. Don't let my fiance hear about this because she's been on me that I have to go to more conventions. I just haven't, with everything going on, it's like, how do I even have time for that? But she was, correctly saying like this is like the lifeblood of your whole industry. It's like conventions and community and stuff. But how many conventions do you go to, Guy? And do you go as a vendor or what? Or do you just kind of like hang out, walk around? Because I assume you got to be selling some of those prints you've been doing, especially the work you've been doing lately. I've been loving it. Yeah, let's get it right. It's a lot of cons close together. Yeah. You know what? I don't know if I like this angle for... I think the action's got to be closer. I think it might be fun to just keep it on his face. Hey, everybody's coming in. Hey, what's up, Broken Blade? I didn't know that was your main venue of income. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty badass. You're getting like most of your income from conventions. You must be doing. You must. I might have some questions for you about how you're getting. I mean, I haven't done a convention in a long time. I did one like 2 years ago when my first graphic novel was coming out, West Deacon. It's a little more than 2 years ago, probably. And I did pretty well at that convention. That was like my first time selling my own indie comic, at a at a con. But it wasn't really. It like wasn't really a comic convention. It was more like anime, and I was just like this Western comics guy. So um, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, this would probably do a little better if I was at the right con. It was more for like cosplay and what would you call them? What are the for people that are really into Japanese? Is it weeaboos, or is that derogatory? I don't even know. I'm not trying to be, but yeah, it was like they weren't necessarily into like American comic artists, but in spite of that, it actually did pretty well. Like it paid for itself at the convention with a small profit. Like it paid for the table. But now with Black Mirror, with a book of that quality, I'm like, maybe I can, do a bit better. Weebs. No, I don't think people. I mean, I know you're kidding, but no, like I really respect the anime audience because they are fiercely loyal, And you want fans like that. You want people that are like, oh, this doesn't work. The pose I have here doesn't. He's gonna have to be punching him underneath. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm realizing how off-centered the frame is. Industry work became a bit cold, and commissions aren't happening. I haven't been feeling well doing work for less than I used to. Neither for people who give me an entire mood board of AI slump. Oh God, yeah, that sounds awful, man. I'm so sorry. That's rough, man. I'm sorry. Weeaboo, that's the word I was looking for. It isn't derogatory, but the origin of the word kind of is. It's its own thing now. Yeah, that's what you gotta just own it. If somebody like slanders your, whatever group of people you associate with, even tacitly, just own it. Just be like, yeah, whatever. We are those things. try this one. Yo, what's up, Artie? Guy says, I mean, there was even people asking to take pics with me and such. That's really cool. It's being a good experience so far, but yeah, really demanding. Gotta produce a lot and constantly, and always be traveling and such. Now that's enough of wall text. You know what, Guy? If you're ever interested in hopping on the stream and talking about conventions, I would love, since you're someone doing so much like cons and earning a living off of it, I would absolutely love if you at some, if you were ever interested, you could like hop on a stream and teach us the ways of the convention, the traveling convention roadman. Because my experience with cons is minimal, most of my career, like so much of the work that I got paid to do is NDA'd, so like I just don't know that I have like really very much experience with that stuff. I have to get more of it now, Yeah, so I was telling someone about this, so this is really, before I do final inks, which look like this is what my pencils tend to look like. I do not, I was just talking with Gigi about this because Gigi's pencils seem to be pretty tight. She likes to, it's just her method. She likes to like have her lines decided, and for me, I kind of just treat it like, it's different for everybody. For me, I like to keep it really loose because I do a lot of my real decisions in the inking phase. Just kind of map it out and then just go. So here we go. Which brush should I use? Maybe I'll try something a little smoother than I've been doing. Let's see. Ooh, that's way too thick. For sure, we can work something out, says Guy. Let me know when it works. I think that around May I'll have a good amount of free time. Great, that sounds great. So I'm curious, Guy, are you seeing, like, what are the differences you've been experiencing as your style has changed? Like, as you've been doing more line art, like, are you seeing a difference in your clientele? Or is there more people? Are there less people buying your stuff at cons? Are there just different people, like a different enthusiast of different things? Very oil wash. Hey, what's up, Sharky? Nice to see you, man. You have weaponized your perfectionism. That's true. That's a good way to put it, Gigi. Well, it makes a lot of sense that, because if you look at Gigi's style, it makes a lot of sense that she would want tighter sketches before she goes to like her final line art, because she, generally her work, it's like very elegant. She doesn't, she's not trying to express the image with like a billion lines. She's using fewer lines. So I think because of that, it's like deceptively difficult, because she has to make sure every line she applies is giving a lot of information. So like right now I'm kind of doing something in the middle. Like this is a little less, this is a little more chunky than I've been doing on like this panel, for example. I don't think that much when I do this because I have so much room to apply a billion lines, Here, I'm trying something a little different, at least for the beginning of it. I'm trying kind of a more elegant contour. I'm probably going to end up lining the hell out of it, though, because I just, can't really stop myself sometimes. I'm like, oh no, there's a corner of this page. It doesn't have a billion crosshatches on it. What am I going to do with all this negative space? I got to fill it with line art. So I'm sure those of you who are friends of the channel, who have watched a fair amount of my stuff, know that there's a character appearing in this same comic who's a very beautiful woman, who's like a witch lady, and she has like a big witch hat. I didn't realize, because I introduced her when I was writing the script. I did that because I wanted to introduce her in the second issue. This felt like the right time to start bringing in other supporting characters, and she was like someone I was really excited about writing. But I also realized that she offers like something much needed aesthetically, is that this, I mean, you read a Black Mirror comic, anyone who's read the first one knows, okay, there's going to be a lot of monsters in this. The second issue has even more monsters, and I was like, man, there's so many ugly faces, so many ugly dudes in this issue, that having a character in there that's just like a beautiful human being who you're just like, or at least I want her to be, just drawing a conventionally attractive human who's not a hideous monster. It's like, well, what a nice break for the eyes. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm pretty happy with how this face is coming out so far. That's just the right level of hideous man thing, Frankenstein character that I want. Well, I missed a lot in the chat. Sorry, everyone watching me just stare at the screen. I'm catching up on many things in the chat. Guy says, I've done t-shirts, hoping to do more. Did some keychains, some pinups. That's cool. A playmat. That's awesome. Like nothing really outside the bubble, just trying to make the products look really great and above average when it comes to the actual art. It's very modest. You're too modest, sir. Let's see, what else? What did I miss? What's up, Jacobo? People are kind and they'll come to your booth. Yeah, for you and your stuff. Yeah, I find that that's really the experience I had at conventions with that people were really nice, generally speaking. I don't think I had any negative experiences at that convention I went to where I was selling my own comics. Jacobo says, hey, I'm planning on sending some sample pages to some pros. Would that be a smart thing to do? Yeah, I mean, like, what's the worst that could happen, Jacobo? They could just not answer you. Just be super nice, respectful. For me, you know, always acknowledge that nobody owes you their time, but just, you know, yeah, reach out. But then what's the worst they can do? They'll be like, I don't have time to, you know, they'll ignore you. Yeah, it's fine. Guy says, by the way, GG, Mucha is and always will be a beast. One of the greatest masters. I don't know who that is. You were given ID cards back in 2024 because they showed my stuff. I didn't email them because I wanted to get better and show them higher quality work, but months have passed. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I don't know if that was the right decision or not. I can't say definitively, you know? I do know Alphonse Mucha. Alphonse Mucha. I think I might be mispronouncing his name. I probably do know their stuff, and I just forget the name. Does this really require that? Let me see. Oh, so Gigi, did you get around to watching the most recent JCS episode of Criminal Psychology? You're the only other person I've met, Gigi, who watches it, even though it's extremely popular on YouTube. Ooh, what a harsh transition. That song ended so abruptly. There you go. That was the right level of line art. Yeah, I probably will see his work and go, oh, that guy, because I just feel like I forget people's work a lot, people's names a lot. There's so many artists that I think are amazing that it is hard to remember all their names. That's why I keep that's why I keep having them on my YouTube channel and becoming friends with them, just so I can remember who they are. Otherwise, I get lost in my feed. I'm like, hey, I really like your work, but I don't want you to get drowned out by videos of puppies. Can I maybe form a personal connection with you so that I can look at your illustrations more? Speaking of which, what's today, the 7th? I believe either tomorrow or Wednesday, I am going to be having Mr. Steven Zapata back on. And I don't know how excited you guys are, but I am tickled pink that he's coming back to the channel to have a talk. We're going to continue our conversation. We're going to expand on our conversation. It's going to be, I'm genuinely excited. The last time that I had him on was one of the, like, it was just I was very, very engaged, you know, like I really like him. And I think he's brilliant. I think he's a brilliant guy. And I got the sense he had a good time too, talking. Because I think he and I, something that we both share is that we're chatty. We're chatty fellows. Oh, sorry. But he emailed me and was like, hey, maybe the 8th might work. I think that's what he said. So I was like, yeah, sure. So I'm going to check in with him tonight and see if he's still down for that. And if not, you know, we'll work something else out. But something I wanted to talk to him about was our last meeting, our last conversation on a stream. He was talking about his view of color and how it should be used in art. And it really stuck with me. It just like stayed with me, you know, because I was like, oh man, not only do I understand what he's saying and do I possibly agree with him, it's possible I've already been kind of operating under the same assumption, under the same like ideas that he's already doing. So we need to break that down. We need to talk about it. We need to unpack that, as people would say. We need some pop psychology terms. Let's unpack that, Steven. I think it was very wise of him to say that because I think I get it. If anyone remembers, I'm going to paraphrase Steven's point of view. I think I understand him fairly well about this. Is that he basically had said on our last conversation, which I highly recommend you guys go find if you haven't seen it. He said he felt that color. There's this lie that they tell artists that color is necessary. You know, like it's a thing you have to do and that it has to be purely representational in a lot of ways. But he's like, don't include color unless you want to and unless it's something that like you feel adds like emotional content to the image, and that should be the guiding force on how you do color is the emotion, not perfect representation of reality. And I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right, is what I said, standing shirtless on top of my roof, yelling at the moon. You're right. I was like, the real, I mean, if you look at the way I color my comics, I was like, I think I've already been kind of thinking that because my colors are not representational. they're kind of, in terms of realism, they're nonsense. They're all over the place. I really like, strong primary colors and, yeah, let's make the sky green. Let's make skin blue, but it'll still read as, human flesh tones. There's a lot there. So I literally want to have him back on just to tell him that he's right. And then I don't know where else the conversation will go. But he was telling me that he first we were going to do the 4th, and he had to push it back because he said some things were going on. And then, yeah, Broken Blade, I saw his recent AI video, And now I'm thinking that's the thing that was going on, was that he needed to address that first and make a video about it before he could hop on the channel. I saw that video too. It's pretty great. It's pretty hilarious where he's just like, let me just say, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. He just starts like, I mean, like, anybody who's watched any of Steven's content, like, what did you think he was going to say? It's so funny that the AI, like, tech bros are just reaching out to people like Steven to try to buy their words. Like, what are you even thinking? That's just like, it's just hilarious to me that like that is like a perfect example of a problem with the like form letter culture from which I guess the current AI model sprung, you know? Go like this so I can hold it differently. Nim, welcome. How you doing, Nim? Glad to see you. Let me see what I missed in the chat. Oh, Steve is coming back? Nice. I literally watched his video about an AI business trying to buy his channel before coming to the stream. Yeah, I saw that, I think, yesterday. I was like, damn. You know, Steven is not a man who varnishes his opinion. He really just, he's very direct. It's really nice. It's one of the things I like about him is that like most artists are pretty passive personality types, and I relate to the fact, I relate to him for being a little more of a, you know, he's got a little more swag, a little more, you know, his emotions come from a strong place, his expressions, I should say. And I like that. I feel like, having a strong personality is, it's, you know, a lot of us, it's just a lot of artists feel like they're supposed to be passive, you know, like, oh, I'm creative, so I should probably not be too difficult. Oh, Gigi. Nailed it. She says value and temperature are the best. Look at Mobius. Mobius is a perfect example. You're that kindergartner that goes up to a table like, I like your red shirt, we are friends now. That's true. I did that with you pretty much. That AI art situation reminds me of the Reapers in Mass Effect. Evil AI entities claiming to try to preserve something only to pervert and corrupt it. You can't wait to read the context of this panel? It's like, yeah. So this is, Black Marrow and his sometimes friend, sometimes enemy, Canterbury. So I have this thing, I'm starting this tradition in the series where every time him and Canterbury meet up, they just start fist fighting before they talk. It's like the thing I always say is he's one of his best friends, but he also hates him. That's the vibe. It's the vibe I'm going for. Yeah, AI, yeah, people that are like, and I'm not talking about people that are just like generally okay with AI. I mean people that are like really passionate about it. They do make weird arguments sometimes. And I'm not trying to, go after anybody. If anybody who watches this, like if you like using AI to make stuff, like I don't, it's not for me. I'm not coming after you. There needs to be a really honest, ethical discussion about what it's doing to the arts and about how I've watched some stuff about data scraping and how it works, and I honestly I'm super ignorant about it. Trying to educate myself about it. Overall, the fact that they're trying to buy artists' work is just, I don't know. It's a bit gross that they would try to offer him $50,000 to buy his like style so that they can basically put him out of business. I don't know. Yeah, I love this is just the old Canterbury hello. Yeah, because every time him and Canterbury see each other, they just bother each other. Like he just bugs him. Like, and they just start, and it's great because it's kind of like the Wolfman versus Frankenstein. Like that's the whole point of the way that they look and stuff. So, which adds a layer of fun to it because it's kind of like those old Universal monsters. One of my favorite childhood memories was the first time I saw the Wolfman, Dracula, and Frankenstein with Abbott and Costello. That amazing film. And so if you look at Black Marrow, this is like him in one of his poses. A big part of his design, I think I probably talked about this before. I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but there's new subscribers now, so it's like 200 more of you than there were like 2 weeks ago. So I feel like I can be repetitive like a grandpa and start telling the same stories over and over. Something that goes into his design is that I didn't want to create so I think in terms of like, oh, what if this was ever adapted for film or something like that, because I want this to be something that really picks up and people, and maybe it'll never be a movie or a show or anything, and that's fine. If it's a good selling comic and I can just keep doing more of it, that's enough to make Ryan happy. But it's very important to me that when people look at the comic, that in their mind they can see Black Marrow very clearly, like if he were a character in a movie. And so I sculpt his whole design off of a man in makeup, in a costume. as opposed to like giving him proportions that would be impossible, or giving him a face that would need animatronics or CGI or anything. It's like very important to me that this character could be duplicated with a really good actor and a really good makeup team, because that's how I see it in my head, and that's how I would want, hopefully, for the reader to experience it, as like you could imagine him being very real. You don't have to bend reality and go to a different place to see him. Is because he's right there, you know. And something I loved was the old Jacobo. The answer is yes. You can always send me samples. I'll try to get back to it this week if I can. Is that I just love those old Wolfman movies where, you know, you can tell the actors got the stuff in his, like, stuffed in his shirt, you know, to make him look bigger and more imposing. I don't want to do that exactly, but I obviously, like, I enjoy that look. I think there's something kind of fun about it. And even though the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie, you know, it's not a great film, but the costume and makeup for the Wolfman is so good. It's so good. And it's like, oh, that's exactly the vibe, you know, that I love it. I love that they just like went for a classic creature look. They didn't try to do, you know, he's not all CGI. He looks really great. Even though the some of the images I've seen so far for the new Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie just like doesn't really wow me, and I kind of feel like he has an allergy to color. It is pretty cool that he's doing the Cyclops in animatronics. That's going to look really cool. Thank you, Nim. You're the best. Broken Blade says, what really bugs me about the whole AI convo is that the creators are either highly optimistic about its capabilities or are being willfully blind to the dangers. Okay, that is where I have a really strong opinion, Broken Blade. I agree. It is really, like, I've seen people doing like, hey, look at what I was able to do with AI, and they just like put another person's face on a scene where you can't even tell it's a different person originally. And I'm like, how is it legal to do this? Like, how is it legal to just create an alternate reality where you can make it look like somebody, almost undetectable deep fakes? Like that has to be legislated, or we're going to end up with a lot of confusion and a lot of innocent people getting their lives ruined by, like, you know, the internet. Yeah. Now history's written by anyone. Yeah. Broken Blade says, for example, I remember seeing a test of a robot shooting at a humanoid target. This proves that Asimov's laws of robotics aren't even being considered. That's terrifying. Rule 1, a robot may not injure. Yeah, I know the whole thing. Yeah. Allow human to come to harm. Laws are written. Someone has to want to do it. Frankly, laws are rotten, written after expensive events. So get ready for it. Yep. Yeah, Nim, I agree. He has an allergy to color. It's like, I mean, like, so when they showed the costume for, you know, maybe, hold on, let me flip this real quick. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see. Is it better this way? Yeah, maybe we'll go with that for now. Sorry. Yeah, when they showed the costume that Matt Damon is wearing, it drove me nuts, because it was like, let's take the Greek outfit of the soldier and just rob it of any color, so it's just black on black and everything. It's like he did the same. It's like, it looks like the Batman outfit. It's like, it's just black rubber with like a little bit of red in it. And it's like a historian was showing, and this is something that I'm very passionate about because I've learned a lot about history lately in the past year, and like learning a lot about the aesthetics of what all of our misconceptions about history. And this historian was showing what the actual armor would have been, that if Odysseus was real, the armor he would be wearing. And it was so gorgeous. It was just like shimmering gold and red, and it had jewels and you know, like I'm sorry, like it had like ornate design and carvings, and it was just like the silhouette was just, it was absolutely beautiful. And it was like why would you not do that? Like, why do you need everything to just be gray and bland and samey? Like, the sameness of it was just crazy. Like, why? What is wrong with people? Like, I mean, I saw Dune. I thought it was a good movie, but I was like, man, there's just no color. This is a desert culture. And they're like, oh, we based it on desert cultures. I was like, have you seen desert cultures? They have some of the most beautiful, elaborate, crazy designs, but everybody's just wearing white, gray, black, silver V-necks. It's like super pared down. And I was just like, wow, it's disappointing, because, you know, if there was ever a place to go hog wild with design, it's a movie based 10,000 years in the future. Like, what are we even like in the future, you know? So, and then just seeing, I like what Nim says here regarding the costume. Where's the rest of it? Yeah, no, it's like nothing is allowed to be beautiful. That's what I keep saying in my head when I see it. Like, it's literally a director being like, nothing is allowed to be beautiful. Everything has to look like someone made it in a rush, or like this idea of practicality, this very modern notion of practicality, which is like killing art. It's like, I mean, I don't want to be dramatic, but it's like people thousands of years ago, even hundreds of years ago, didn't think about armor as a purely practical. Like, the medieval knight, like I've been researching that heavily for the King Arthur book that I'm doing, and it's like something that's very clear is that knights and generally people from hundreds of years ago and further back thousands of years ago, not everything was about practicality. It was about expressing yourself through what you were wearing, and that included soldiers. So if you were a warrior or something, you would have like crazy stuff on. You'd have jewels, and you know, and they don't have to go super far with it, but like really, he's just wearing all black again. I was just like, I cannot believe the lack of imagination. It drives me crazy. And then they showed Zendaya, Zendaya is playing a goddess. And then I look at her outfit, and she's just wearing just a white tunic, and her hair's in a bun. There's like no jewelry, no like super hyper feminine, expressive peacock colors, nothing. She just looks like she came out of a bathhouse and she's just chilling. And it's like, why is she not allowed to wear something amazing for this? Like, why is everything so bland? And he's a great director, and I think he'll film it beautifully, and it'll probably be great, and I'll probably love it. But it's just like, as an artist, I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, it's gotta be so frustrating to be a concept artist on these movies, where you're like, you know, I have all these ideas, and they just keep saying no. Yeah, ignore that they had colors sometimes better than we do. I'm going to answer that question. Yes, I have seen Immortals, GG. I freaking love the look of that movie. It's so awesome. If anyone's ever heard of the movie Immortals, starring a very young Henry Cavill, who is, by the way, shirtless for like almost the entire movie, for those of you that love a shirtless Henry Cavill, which I assume is most mammals. It's like, it was the movie that I think got him the role of Superman, or possibly he already had it, but it's like, it's awesome. It's about, you know, the Roman gods, and it's a story right out of, I believe, Roman or maybe Greek mythology. Oh no, I think it's Greek. Yeah, Greek mythology. But it's the costumes are, yeah. Bad movie, great villain, great design. I agree completely. Yeah, it's kind of a proto Zack Snyder kind of deal, but it's still, I found it really fun. I also liked it that because the budget wasn't through the roof, the action sequences, the battle scenes are actually more appealing to me because they're not relying on huge special effects. They're relying on like good stunt work and good choreography and like really cool costumes. Like that's what you have. This happens when you have a modest budget. You just kind of focus on what you can do, and often what you can do is more interesting than I'd like. I'm so glad it's not, like when remember the scene where he fights the Minotaur in the maze, I think, yeah. And the Minotaur is like just a huge guy with like a Minotaur helmet, but it looks really cool. It's like made of wicker and stuff. It's like, I'm so glad it's not some dumb CGI Minotaur. It's just like, it's just using a cool costume, great lighting, so the room feels, and it's a scary scene, you know. It's like they worked with their budget. A lot of that is the director, Tarsem. He also did a movie called The Cell and The Fall, which are visually incredible movies. I'm kind of stuck on this face right now. I don't know why. I need to be more attentive to the sketch right now. There you go. A quick break from what I was saying. As I draw this scene, I'm really figuring out the scale between these two and how big Canterbury is. I know I wanted to make him really big, like a huge guy, but I also don't want to make Black Marrow seem small because he's a pretty tall guy. He's like 6'2" or something, and so I want to make sure people understand like Canterbury is just this like enormous monster man who's probably like 7 feet or 6'10" or something. But I also don't want to push that so far that Black Marrow starts to look like Spider-Man instead of like a big stud. Because it's important, because if Black Marrow then looks too small, then I can't sell how big Canterbury is. So I have to like walk this line with the scale. And having other characters, you know, obviously helps that because you get to see all three of them together. Some of the praise I got for Black Mirror 1, they kept saying that they, I got a lot of praise for the fight scenes. People were like, yeah, the action's well drawn. And I was very happy with that because I always regarded that as one of my strengths. Like, I know that my art sometimes, you know, I think I'm okay. I think I'm an okay artist, but I think sometimes I mess up and little inconsistencies here and there. I generally like my work, but I'm also aware of its flaws, which I think is a healthy attitude. But something that I've always known I was like pretty good at is that I can do a good action sequence. Like I can really sell combat, which is, you know, it's like ever since I was a kid, I would always like playing with toys and just like bash my action figures together and imagine like what it would look like. So it's apparently all that paid off. Terry Gilliam's Brazil. You know, I've never actually watched Brazil. I've started it before and then I didn't finish it. I was in college, so I need to give it another shot. I actually just watched a couple of Terry Gilliam movies, Broken Blade. I watched for like not the first time. I watched The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which is just wonderful. It's great. And I then watched The Fisher King, which I didn't know was a Terry Gilliam movie at the time because I'd never seen it, with Robin Williams. And that movie, it wasn't my favorite. I didn't really, there were a lot of things about it I didn't like, but I ended up enjoying it because I generally like the story and because Robin Williams, I mean, it's like, I just adore Robin Williams. He's like the only celebrity, like movie star that like I actually would have loved to have met. Like, love to have met him. Everyone else, I could really give a shit, honestly. I don't really get like celebrity worship. I've never understood it. But Robin Williams is someone who I generally felt was really special. And like, it's a shame that he died so young, not just, because of how he died and the fact that it was so premature and that he was a wonderful person. He seemed like a wonderful person. By all reports, he was a fantastic human being. Everybody loved him. But putting aside all that, even it's a shame from an artistic standpoint because I feel like he had so many great performances left in him. There's so many things as he got older and aged into certain roles. I think you could have seen him. You could have seen him do incredible stuff. Like as I'm working on, you guys have seen here. I'll show you. You guys have seen my King Arthur comic that I'm also working on. Here's the latest spread. I don't think I've shown this on a stream. This is the first time we see most of the main knights together. The only ones missing from the main cast are Lancelot and Galahad, but they're going to come in later. But you're looking at this and like it makes me realize, man, I would have loved to have seen Robin Williams play Merlin at this age that he would have been now, and he would have been around 70 probably, or like mid to late 60s. He would have been an incredible Merlin. Can you imagine him playing that part? And I think about it and it makes me sad because the way I've written Merlin in this script, me and my co-writer, I just like Robin Williams, like I see him in my head. And I see him with that big beard and the crazy hair that he had in Jumanji, when he comes out of the thing. And just playing Merlin with that kind of... Because if you've ever read King Arthur's Legend, Merlin is like... He's equal parts silly, mysterious, brilliant, insane. He's just like a fascinating, crazy character. And I think about that all the time. You see, this is like an image of another page from it. This Merlin, so this was my original look for Merlin, where I was going to give him kind of a creepy face without eyebrows. But I'm going to redraw parts of it because I actually want it to look like Robin Williams a little bit. I want some of that expression. Robin Williams, he had those smiling eyes. I love that about when I'd see his movies. Even in any movie he's in, when he would smile, you get that look from him and you're like he just has this warmth. But there's an intrigue and a bit of mystery, and yeah, it's great. I can't say enough good things about him. I've rewatched Good Will Hunting so many times because of him. And yeah. Hook. Oh my God, I grew up watching Hook all the time. Let me check the chat. I'm sorry, I haven't... Scale is tough, yeah. Artie says, speaking of Greek stories, I recently watched The Warriors for the first time. Didn't know it was based on a Greek story itself. I actually didn't know that it was. Which story, Artie? Guy says, you're an awesome artist. Don't start with that. Okay, chitty chat. One of the people I look to be as good as. Oh, thank you, man. That's really sweet. I didn't realize you were talking to me until I got to the end of that. I was like, who is he reassuring? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had an interview for, I don't know if it's out yet, but I had an interview on a podcast recently. They had me on. It's like, oh, you're the guy who did Black Mirror, and it was really cool because I think this person was being very sweet and making me feel like I was a big deal. I was like, it's okay, you don't have to make me feel like that. I'm gonna come on your podcast anyways. But he had, he'd asked, like, what do you think of your work? And, and I told him I remembered this Spielberg quote where he's like, if you have people that admire you, that's great if they admire your work, but like, don't see yourself the way that they see you, or the quality of your work will immediately just tank. You'll just stop being good because you'll start to, and it's like, because Steven Spielberg was saying this to a room full of film students, where he's like, oh, it's cool, you guys, it's really nice that you see me as this like artist who's like you look up to, but if I even for a minute start to see myself through that lens, he's like, I just start making crap. It's not, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I try to I try to keep in mind like my flaws. Like I know that, I mean, listen, I know that some of my drawings I'm very happy with, and some of them I'm like, okay, but overall, I just try to keep in perspective. I'm not trying to do any false modesty thing, guy. I'm really not, because I don't always like false modesty. If I can tell someone's full of shit about like, oh yeah, they're gonna pretend they don't know that they're great, but like it's honestly just like there's things I want to be able to do better, but I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy my art. Like I like looking at it, I like doing it. I think it came out, you know what I mean? Like I look at this and I'm like, and I think, and it's not just like, I think all of you should have that feeling about your work. You should get it. You should finish it and be like, yeah, I'm going to keep improving and this could be better. But also like, I think this looks pretty cool. I'm happy with it. I like the energy. Being capable of walking away from flaws is a hard skill to commit to and an extremely important one. It's interesting in what you mean by walking away from flaws. That's interesting wording, Gigi. Oh, I went too far. Nim says, right? I wish half my stuff looked as good as he does in even a third of the speed. Oh no, I'm going to have to start skipping comments before I start reading my own praise aloud. It's so weird. Someone's going to clip it and just be like, look at this D-bag just reading comments, people telling him he's good. They're going to use it to cancel me. I'm going to end up on one of those internet shows like where they're like the downfall of this guy, and it's going to be like my face with like a mugshot. Broken Blaze has agreed. Robin Williams seems like one of the few celebrities I wouldn't want to punch. Oh shit, I hit the camera, sorry. It is true that I find most celebrities to be very punchable. Somebody sent me, who was it? One of you guys sent me this and it was hilarious. It might have been someone from my streams. Maybe it was, I don't remember if it could have been my brother, it could have been one of you guys. It was a quote from Gwyneth Paltrow talking about COVID. And like, she's just like, Gwyneth Paltrow admits that she broke down during COVID and actually ate bread. And it was like a headline, Gwyneth Paltrow ate bread because she was so stressed about COVID. Like, this is from years ago. And it's just like, I just had this incredible, I mean, it was funny to me. Like, I was resharing it with my friends and like my fiance being like, look at these idiots. These like people are so privileged. They have no idea how, but like, I pretty cool dude. But Broken Blade says, how many projects do you work on at once? Do you balance your schedule working on multiple projects? Yeah, how many am I working on right now? I'm drawing about 6 freelance projects right now that are paying the bills, and working on 2 indie comics, Black Marrow and, being Black Marrow and Knights of Camelot, which obviously at this point, I mean, Black Marrow is kind of paying some, it's a new revenue stream. It's paying for some stuff because people are buying the book, thankfully, but to earn the money I need to earn to live in this year of our Lord 2025, I'm doing. So people comment on my speed all the time. They're like, how do you draw that fast? It's because I have to, because I had to learn how to move really fast in order to make a living doing this. I had to draw so many things so fast. As a storyboardist, I work on a lot of things at once, and I go through. The way I balance my schedule is actually more of a rotation. It's like I do this thing where I'm like, okay, like tonight is Monday and I'm on a stream. This is my 90-minute to 2-hour slot maybe to work on Black Marrow. And then Wednesday, if I do another stream, I hope I will. I mean, I might even do one tomorrow. I can work on, I can either finish this page, assuming I don't finish it tonight, or I can knock out another page for Knights of Camelot. Because this page that this spread that I did, this was like me designating a time to do this spread because I need to get this page done. Because the goal is to have both Black Marrow Book 2 and Knights of Camelot ready to crowdfund in 2025. I want to do a double campaign. Maybe not at the same time, but I just want to do both campaigns in a year. Which I think I might be able to do if I, yeah. And then at the same time, I'm doing all this paid work. And that's kind of what my afternoons are doing. On my afternoons, I typically am doing, if I'm not on stream with you guys and I'm not with my fiance, hanging out, doing stuff, maybe going for walks or wedding stuff, then I'm just here drawing the many projects that I have to draw to make this business work. Billy Connolly playing Don Quixote. I'm gonna have to look up who did Billy Connolly is. I don't remember. Broken Blade, are you face palming Gwyneth Paltrow or something else? Oh, Madonna. Yeah. So when anyone in the chat is wondering what Gigi's referring to, this is like at the height of COVID when people were dying. And Madonna's like, yeah, well, that's what's so, great about it. It's the great equalizer. That's what it does. And it's like she's saying, Madonna's referring to it as an equalizer as if like everybody suffers from this thing and that's what power of nature. Meanwhile, as she's saying it, she's literally in a gold bathtub surrounded by rose petals. It's like, you can't write this stuff. You cannot write this. Yeah, that actually bothered me a lot more. That was legitimately like I was like, I try not to have hate in my heart. I try to be a good Christian boy who, assume the best in people until they give you a reason not to. But at that point, she gave me a reason not to. Like, are you fucking dumb? The great equalizer, you're making this like offhand comment. Yeah, that's what's, that's just how it is. She says, like, of course, it's just what happens. It's like while she's in her mansion and people are struggling and people are scared for their lives. People are losing loved ones and they can't even attend the funeral because of the COVID problem is so scary that people can't even like go to burials for their grandparents who got sick. It's just, I'm sorry. I don't mean to make this negative, guys. I don't want to lose people in the stream by going to this dark place, but like hearing Madonna's like that, it wasn't even like the only reason I know about it is because there was a highlight reel of celebrities saying the cringiest, stupidest crap, and it was like Red Letter Media posted about it. They featured it in one of their videos. And they said something funny. They were like, the only thing good to come out of COVID was showing how incredibly narcissistic so many celebrities are that they can't stand not being the center of attention for 5 minutes. They have to be like, it's so, yeah. That was the beginning of me being like, oh, I think, because someone was like, is it a dream of yours that your stuff would get turned into a movie? I was like, not really. I don't want any connection to Hollywood culture. Not that I have that option anyway at the moment, but like, I just don't. I don't know. As of right now, because I worked in the film industry for a few years. I did concept art and storyboards, and I also I did stunt work. I was doing like stunt acting whatever you want to call it, but mostly just like non-union stunt work on film sets. And I saw some of the most wasteful, ridiculous behavior from really powerful people. So I totally shed that desire to want to be in that culture. That, and then the Me Too thing happened, and then you just see how many celebrities are just terrible. You look at Me Too, and it's like it's just this crazy, disgusting industry that's just like, yeah. All right, I'll stop ranting about it. I'm sorry. I'm done. I promise I'm done. I'm not going to say anything else about it. Broken Blade says, six projects. I'm a lazy bastard. No, you're not. Nobody should have to work on 6 projects. I do that many because I've learned how to work for what works for me. Is that like one of the things that has made this career work for me is that I work really fast. And so that means, because I'm not, comics, they don't really pay much in and of themselves unless you're like someone who's really famous and popular. And so I just kind of like learned that I can make a good living at it by just exploiting my strengths, which is that I'm fast. I'm fast and it's good enough is how I think probably someone would imagine I approach it, but I actually really, enjoy working. But yeah. Oops. So this is just a friendly reminder to flip your images if you're working digitally. If you're working traditionally, you should also flip using mirrors, but digitally, just flip all the time. Always look, see how it looks from different angles. You'll notice flaws will just jump out at you. You'll start to notice problems. Taco Force says, is that a celebrity thing or just a reflection of us? Those people post that article about people because people will click on it. I don't know. It's a great question. I think certain positions and careers attract, groom, enable, and or create narcissists, says Gigi. I can never quite predict how right Gigi is going to be about a given thing, but she's often very right. And actors are one of them. That aren't wonderful people. Not that there aren't wonderful people who are also, of course, yeah, no. But that's the thing with movie stars in particular. There's something about that field that like it seems designed to create terrible people. You're putting someone in a position, and it's almost not even their fault because you're creating a monster. You're giving someone constant praise. You're shielding them from criticism. Giving them exorbitant wealth that arguably is not deserved. I mean, like, no offense, but I don't think anybody deserves to be a millionaire for reading lines. Well, I don't want to, you know what, let me not piss off the actors. I mean, like, for some people, maybe it's deserved. I think there's a lot of actors who are, let's put it this way. This is a really good way to put it. Okay. There's a lot of actors who are really, really bad, and they're still millionaires. They're not good at their jobs, and they're still really wealthy. So, Yeah, I think that's a really good way to create. A really good way to create a monster is you just. But I think more than anything, it's like creating a bubble around somebody where they never have to engage with any criticism. They just don't have to. And then they get canceled because they, something terrible they did, and they're like, "What? Where's my publicist?" Because nobody's been keeping them in tap, keeping checks on them for a while. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Nim. I love the look on his face at that moment. Like, okay, yes, you got a few punches in, knock it off. Yeah, it's at this moment, it's like Black Mirror kind of gets the drop on him, where he gets a few punches, and then when Canterbury's like, when he catches his hand, he's like, all right, it's like my turn, and then he's gonna knock him around a little bit. But I think the line I have written for him is he gets mad and he says, "Dang it, you don't have the sense God gave a buttered squash." Which is exactly the kind of line that would fit into this type of book. Yeah, Broken Blade. You're right. That I just felt bad saying it because I have friends who have been actors. Maybe they're not now, but they have been, and I don't want to diminish anyone's art form because it's like I'm literally drawing a werewolf fighting Frankenstein, and like to me, it's super important that I do this. But obviously, anyone could take that same approach to my work and be like, what are you doing? You're playing pretend too. It's like, hey, you're right. So I don't want to diminish the art form, but I do think it's absurd how much money they're paid for it. I mean, like, if we're on that discussion. And in fact, I saw a really great analysis about about like why so many movies are quote unquote flopping. And it's like some of these movies are getting hundreds of millions of dollars and they're still considered flops because the reason for that is that the budget is out of control of American movies. They're so insane. And so much of that is because actors now, like movie stars, cost so much money. It's like $100 million to get like Ryan Gosling in your movie, and the movie makes half It makes like 500 million, and that's still not enough to pay for the advertising budget and him and the name of his co-star, Emily Blunt, who is also super expensive to get. It's just like, it's unsustainable. These people it's just so much money. It's like a few million is fine for a movie star. Like, let's go back to that. Hundreds of millions. It's like, yeah, you literally, in order to pay for that movie now, it has to be a record-breaking success, but you can't do it because so much of your initial budget to make the movie is spent on getting a movie star in the movie. But movie stars aren't really the draw anymore. Like, people don't really see movies for the same, because people, you know, in my parents' generation, they would go to the movies because they liked a certain actor. Well, Robin Williams is a good example. If you were a Robin Williams fan, you would go to see him in whatever movie he was in because you just knew you were going to love it because you loved Robin Williams, you know? And now it's like, who really has that pull? Like, almost nobody. Instead, you go to the movie because it's based on a book that you really like. So why, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the main draw, is like the material and not so much the movie star, quote unquote. Like, the movie star isn't really much of a thing anymore. So it's like, why is this movie star making like so much money when they're not pulling in the same audience? They're just not, you know, at least that's my surface level analysis of it. But yeah, I was thinking about it because the Godzilla movie that came out, Godzilla -1, which is an excellent movie. It's like an Oscar-winning film, I believe. Amazingly well-written, beautifully directed, great soundtrack, great, amazing spectacle. The whole movie was like less than $15 million to make. Less than $15 million. If that was made in America, that movie would be $1 billion production. And you wouldn't understand why. As Gigi said, there's like money laundry probably happening. Not laundry. Nobody's cleaning their money in a dryer. I mean, maybe they are, but I don't know anything about it. Let's see, what did I miss here? Totally out of nowhere, says Guy, but this just struck me. Do you like No Cowboy Bebop? Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of the animation of the anime, and I thought it was great. I did not see the live action Cowboy Bebop because I heard it was less than stellar. Humility is an underrated virtue. You're right. Guy says, yesterday the director's new animation came out called Lazarus, and oh, it's really good. Such good character animation and action choreography. Oh, dude, I remember watching the fight scenes in Cowboy Bebop and being like, this is like unlike anything I'd really seen from Japan. It's so fluid. It actually had more of a Disney look in terms of the movement. Yeah, I agree, Taco. Nim, you love that. Sorry, I lost track of what we were talking about. Are you responding to someone in the chat? Meanwhile, Reservoir Dogs will still stands for one of the best movies ever with almost no budget. Yeah. 12 Angry Men, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, starring one Elizabeth Taylor, meow, and Paul Newman. All these movies that are just screenplay focused. I agree, Gross Girl. That's cool. I wish the best for your friend also. Like, honestly, she's passionate about her. You know, she should definitely. I really hope everybody in every art field has success. You know. Oh my God, that's a really good. Nim says, so many movies have the same actor and no one else because they paid that actor. It's really frustrating. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, okay, so The Odyssey, I brought that up. Even the cast for the movie, it's like Matt Damon, who I like Matt Damon. I think he's pretty good. Zendaya, who I don't really, she's not my favorite, but I have nothing against her. She seems like a nice person. And then Pedro Pascal, which like caused me and everybody I know to just be like, oh God, Pedro Pascal is in this too? Like, how did he get to be in this many things? Okay, this is just me putting a question out there for the internet. Is there more than one Pedro Pascal? There has to be, because I don't know how one person could be in this many things. I don't, in a span of 2 years, I'm pretty sure I'm being played by Pedro Pascal right now. Like, you see, he's in my kitchen, he's under my bed. He's just, it's like, I can't get away from him. He's in like every movie. Also, I'm looking at the lighting in the room, and it's making my face look very red, but it's just the lamp, I promise. It's just the lamp. I gotta fix my posture, though. Broken Blade says, I hope she can make it without selling her soul. Yeah, I know. The actors are, especially young actresses, like pretty girls in the industry, are just preyed upon. It's really scary. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Edgar. Oh, you like that line, Nim? Yeah, I was a fan of that when I wrote it. I was like, yeah, this is the kind of that's exactly, because that's not a Black Marrow line. Like, I don't think he would say that. But it's a Canterbury line for sure. I think of anyone in the series, Canterbury, if I get to do everything I want to do with this comic book and this world for Black Marrow, I think Canterbury is going to be like the character who possibly has the most growth. Like, I'm really excited because he's going to go from like antagonist to anti-hero to hero. Like, that's going to be his journey. Not to spoil it, but that's going to be, you know, if I get to do this over the course of the next like few years. I'm wondering if I need the action lines or if I can just sell it with a little bit of debris. So this is a little trick that I do, and it's, I don't want to say it's my invention. I'm sure someone else is doing it, but it's something that I like to do to show impact. I think a lot of people, when they draw impact, they do like the little explosions around the punching things, but I really started doing this thing where I kind of just show the debris, you know, almost as if punching someone's face causes just some matter to fly off, some spit, you know. It's like watching Rocky movies. I do a lot of that to show impact. That's something I got into as I got older, because I realized you can imply impact without showing the actual, like, you know. Yeah, it's the Pedro Pascal makeup. It's this is Pedro Pascal doing a Ryan performance, and he's nailing it. Oh, really? Jason Momoa's mean too? I didn't see that coming. He always seemed pretty chill. I don't know who you're saying, Valkyrie. I don't know who that is. You mean Valkyrie from the Marvel movies? Tessa Thompson? Why does this look off? I gotta fix this mouth. I don't like it. I'm going to have to tighten up the sketch. So when this happens, I got to go in and do another layer over the sketch. This sketch for Black Mirror is not tight enough. Let's see, but look at what we got done today. I finished this morning. In the evening, I got this and I got this. I want to take a little more done, but I might have to stop soon because I'm sure dinner's almost ready. Oh, okay. I don't know who this person is. Let me check with my fiance about that. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna end it there tonight because I gotta do some dishes. I don't know what's for dinner. I don't remember what she was planning. Last night she made us pizza, and oh boy, it was good. I mentioned like a week ago that she was going to make us pizza, but we had to push the pizza back for some various reasons, and she made it last night, and it was pizza. No, when she finally made it, it was the night before last, and then last night she made a turkey rice like cheese vegetable casserole. Ah, so good. I don't even know what she's doing tonight. But I promised I would do the dishes beforehand. So I'm going to go do that. Hey, listen, guys. I love you. This was such a great stream. Like, this is the stream. This is the type of stream that like I love the most, where it's like I get all you guys in, and I get to talk to all of you, and we have I get to cough into the mic, have an active chat, you know. I'll try to do another one tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, then definitely Wednesday. And I'll try to finish this page with you guys so you can see how it comes together in Procreate. All right, my friends. God bless you. God keep you. Get your protein. Get some sleep. Drink lots of water. Peace out. Good night, guys.